We are recording.
Well, good morning. My name is Breen, and this is my pitch for my graduation short film that I'm titling Love Loss. Still a working title at the moment though. Love Loss is about a young woman called Jessica, who is a deeply paranoid, questioning kind of woman that is kind of worried. She's worried about her partner, who she believes is cheating on her. So she kind of goes on this whole sanity, I don't know what the word be, decreasing journey of finding out the truth. Basically, she have these she has little parts of her mind, the back of her mind, which keep telling her oh, this is a sort of a little bug in her ear telling her what she wants to hear, but she wants to keep denying at the same time. As it says here, the themes I'm looking at for this are paranoia, personal truth seeking, but another part of it is I want to really focus on the idea of mental health, because you don't see many infant short films that go really deep into the whole mental aspect of it, from what I've seen. Looking at the way the plot will work out from the beginning is we're looking at sort of a retelling of events. It's not something that's happening currently within it. It's all done through flashbacks. But the plot will basically, when it goes back to the beginning of the whole story, you're looking at what it would be Marcy, who was Jess's best friend, and her talking about the suspicions of it, and Marcy trying to stop that. Then it starts to begin with Jessica starting to hear a voice in her head telling her to go and spy on her boyfriend. This slowly starts to become more and more prevalent, and then by the end of it, she just snaps and will end up ultimately killing him. For the visual style of the movie itself, I'm looking at, I had influences of Schindler's List. I want this sort of a desaturated feel, but I want a highlight on certain colours, so reds and blues, sort of to give that kind of indication on who's in the right and who's in the wrong, but it can be still subjective. But by the end of it, I wanted to give the message of a colour shift, a shift of power, where Jess will start off at the beginning of this in blue, highlighted in blue, but then by the end of it she'll be highlighted in red to show that she's had that clear change of character. As it says here, it's I also have parts of it where she'll be twitching, so to speak, and it will show off the slow degradation of her mental state. As said here, another parts on the narrative, when she's talking to herself in her head, the idea would be that she's talking out loud to herself, but everything else around her, sound-wise, is drowned out when this voice in her head begins to talk. And here is also, it says all the dialogue between her and her inner self will be starting to serve as triggers for certain points in the movie. I don't actually have an awful lot here. There's a more detailed character analysis that I forgot to add, but we've got our three main characters that are named, which are Jessica, Marcy, and Marcus. Basically, Jessica, our main character, would say, I don't know if you tag this in the correct sense, but naturally paranoid, constantly overthinks the smallest details, one really just wants to know literally up the truth behind everything in her life. Marcy, who I would say her and Marcus are kind of throwaway characters because it's based on the amount of dialogue they have. But like she serves at the beginning as like the voice of reason, trying to like talk sense into Jessica in the first place. And then Marcus obviously is the boyfriend that's being stalked, who has the secret subtext is like he feels like he's not needed anymore with Jessica, so that's why he's sneaking around. Then they obviously use a flashback technique, like I stated earlier. With justification for this, like just to put it shortly, I want to make a message with it. I don't want to make like the typical kind of like psychological thriller kind of thing. I want to really make a statement with this, and the statement is, what is it like inside the head of someone, inside the mind of someone who has mental instability? For target audience, I'm looking at like going across all the socioeconomic backgrounds, but like my age range, I'm looking for 18 to 24 year olds, because there's a lot of like people between those age ranges that like suffer with like mental health issues, so I want to try and get across to them as much as possible. Locations, like I'm looking fairly simple. Most of it will be shot in and around my own home, mostly because the rooms in it are small. Aesthetic is very cold, to be honest, in my own home, but it gives off this, it adds to the atmosphere, but it also adds that level of claustrophobia in some scenes. The rest will be shot in and around Bray, so they didn't look at the logistics of like getting permissions to like film around here. But like one of the main points of it will be down on the seafront, as like the seafront serves as like a major location point for everything. Costings I have here, I haven't broke down. I haven't actually broken in pre-production, but like transport, looking like rates I was getting are about around 114 for 2 days. Crew is based off a rate card I found from 2010, which is the latest one. I'll actually have all the links to these in a separate document. When I was looking at the budget, I was looking at the rates roughly to cost with all the crew that I need. It's €29,017 just for the crew alone. Production, so like that's like equipment, locations. That would be like costumes, any other like stuff. It comes up to around €1,600. Casts based off rates I could find online. Again, I'll have a link to that. About around €4,500 for the 2 days. Makeup as well, based off the same rate card for the crew. About around roughly €2,500. Post production, it's been a bit negotiable because like I'm going to be working as my own editor most likely, but like based off what the rate cards told me, it's like it was negotiable on how much it would be. The total costs is like rough, I said here, about €38,277. Making it back, I don't see making the entirety of it back with the way it looks like. I'm not looking for, in honesty, I'm not looking for a commercial success. I really just want to focus on the film. I'm not focusing on making money, to be honest. But if I am to try and make the money back, a couple of areas I'm looking at are like putting it out to as many festivals as possible, for like ones that have prizes, for example like the Galway Film Festival. Hopefully getting commissioning through somewhere like RTE or TV3. But like my primary areas where I'm looking at are like places like YouTube, like online distribution. But I was also looking at early access platforms like Vessel and Patreon. So yeah, here like with Galway I can make about 3,000 of it back. The data here for RTE is about around for commissioning, so that would be like if I was going to get it beforehand. YouTube, this is where I'm thinking the majority would be, but it would be highly subjective based on popularity. Because like the way they work it is that what I could find is about €1 per 1,000 views. So like to calculate that up, I need about roughly 38 million views to make the money back. But then my other area where I was looking at is like kind of like I said, Patreon, Vessel, which are basically like subscription-based services where like people kind of just support you as the months go on, but you can give them perks like getting access to like videos and all like a month earlier than YouTube would. That's where I'm looking like. But then, like I said, at the end of the day, it's just I'm not looking. I realistically don't see them like making 38,000 back off this. So yeah. Any questions?